Abby setting stage.
The stage is set, and with that, we can welcome everybody. Great to see you all here with us. Will T, Songs of Eden, Yedepe, Elbow, Trislet, Dan, Zal, and Optimistics in the house. We will have more people joining us up on stage shortly. Just wanted to give a short intro and, really excited to be here today. It's our first Impact concert that is really just purely educational. We're not trying to raise funds for amazing projects all over the world, and I think this will be the first of many of this type of impact concerts. And fractal governance is an incredible way to cut through some of the hardships when you have a large group together and you're trying to come to decisions or even find the right questions to ask. So, Dan is going to be joining us shortly to go through a little more on fractal governance and has a little presentation. Me and Jose wanted to just say hello and give maybe a short brief on what impact concerts are and have been. Back in early 2020, Jose came on to Token Smart and played some music, and we instantly connected. And he was looking to go out to the Amazon to join up with the Watuha tribe there. And we thought, hey, might as well do a benefit concert and raise some
Yes.
funds.
Yeah, Web3 technology, it's here, and we have this Web3 neighbor community that we just want to support each other, and digital street music for doing social impact or connecting with the roots, connecting roots with the wireless, hippie tech, cyber Amish balance, then refi when in the like here and now, right? But these concepts aligned with music, they are just so nerdful, and I think it's a great space for onboarding of whoever is interested into Web3, but that had just had connected with the most popular or mainstream side of it. And they just don't get it because they are not into the meme culture, or they are not into the use of the technology, and what they feel is that everything is just so shady or unknown that they just don't dive in. But through impact concerts, and through these impact concerts showing about these coordination tools like fractal governance, it opens a path for people to get to know more about Web3, without being speculative, but more about what we can do together and why we will be using Web3.
Yeah, we've been able to make some really great. We've had impact through these impact concerts. They just developed organically and became what they are today, and that is to onboard, to educate, and to raise funds for really great projects that are basically verified through like a Giveth or an Octant or a Artisan or Gitcoin. So we're able to get funds directly to those projects when we're doing a fundraising impact concert. So yeah, I think with that, that can be our little intro, and maybe we can get a little bit of tunes from Duodo before I go into a little bit of Web3 security, and then we jump whole hog into the fractal governance. Very special guest, Duodo, dynamic duo, musical masters.
Thank you, friends. So happy to be here again in another Impact concert, bringing what we best know to do, that is music, what we live for. So thank you for inviting us again, for giving us this space to share our music, our heart in it. We hope also to learn today with you, at least all the time we can stay during the concert. So this is the first song. It's a pretty new one that is called Lost Myself. It's in Spanish, but it talks about, it's like a song that talks about the city, but it's a gift to the nature because we were born here and raised in the city, but we have this call of the nature all the time, that if we go there, we really find ourselves. We start reconnecting with our senses and our creativity, what we have inside, right? So this song talks about that, to let it go, to lose yourself in that search and just feel. So for you all, perderme. A little tuning, and we are ready. Ah, milonga, luces que se van. Milonga, sombras al pasar. Milonga, voces en el bar, ruidos de la ciudad. Sombras en la avenida llena de las luces que me encaminan y mi reflejo se pierde entre los cruces. Soy el río que dibuja y fluye con el instante siempre cambiante. Milonga, luces que se van. Milonga, sombras al pasar. Milonga, voces en el bar, ruidos de la ciudad. Ah, sus luces me atrapan, muchos me llaman, respiro la brisa, lluvia más, noche clara, quiero verte, quiero vivirla un poco más. Quiero verte bailar. Quiero escucharla un poco más. Quiero verte caminar. Quiero vivirla un poco más. Quiero verte bailar. Quiero escucharla un poco más. Ah, 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 ruidos en la ciudad. Thank you.
Woo! So I don't know. I thought it was maybe just my internet. I was hearing the voice very clear, but not the guitar coming through the whole time. Did you guys maybe need to switch to the interface? It was perfect at the sound check. Of course,
Okay,
something's happened.
let's try.
Try playing the guitar, just the guitar.
I know what's happening.
Oh, a ver. Sanchan says he knows what
Okay.
has.
It
But
was still
we were,
beautiful.
yeah, it was enjoyable. I was able to perceive the
Oh,
full voice,
if
and then the
if
guitar,
it
it was
happens,
perceived as rhythmic. You know, I just perceive it
yeah.
some rhythm out of the guitar.
Let me see now.
Yeah.
Perfect pancake, man.
If it
There it
happens
is.
again, don't be shy and say us to
Yes.
stop and we change the
Yes,
setup audio.
yes.
Okay,
Let
yeah.
us know that we are not good and we're going to stop. And because I turn on the how you say the echo cancellation, and that was the thing. So now I turn off.
Ah.
Sorry, because when we were doing the check-in and check out what was the echo going on, I forgot to turn off the echo cancellation. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. Well, the floor is yours for a little more musical interlude.
We going with the second song, yes, or with
Yeah, let's get a
Felix.
second song and then I'll do a
Okay.
little bit and then we'll go back to you guys for another, if that's okay.
Perfect.
Nice.
Soy?
Sí.
This song is called Soy, I Am, and it talks about how we can break those mandates that we feel the society, our fathers, or people is waiting for us to do or to make or to be. So this song talks about breaking with those rules and just be you and love yourself as you are. So enjoy. Soy. Me encontré con mi propia piel, con mi propio ser. Me encontré, yeah, con mi propia piel, con mi propio ser. Vestía mandatos, usaba prejuicios. Vestía mandatos, usaba prejuicios. Ahora siento respirar mi piel. Ahora siento respirar mi piel. Ahora siento respirar. Ahora siento respirar. Me escapé quitándome otra piel. Me escuché gritando quién quiero ser. Me abracé sintiendo todo mi ser. Me encontré viviendo mi propia piel. Me encontré, yeah, con mi propia piel, con mi propio ser. Estuve negándome todo este tiempo, fingiendo ser alguien más. Esas expectativas sofocantes murieron. Porque yo nací de nuevo. 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 Porque yo nací de nuevo.
Woo!
Perfect, perfect.
That was
Thank
incredible.
you.
Yes.
Absolutely
Thank you very much.
beautiful. And the sound, amazing.
Very
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
That's it.
Yay. Yes, absolutely. It's such a treat to have you guys joining with us, and veterans of Impact concert performances. We actually, real quick, I'll mention we are thinking about. Well, we've been talking about for a little while creating a token that would be, and you'll learn more about kind of the respect token idea here in the coming with the coming speakers. Basically, it would be a soul bound token. So it's not of monetary value, but we're thinking of creating an impact token to give to people like Duodo. You guys are, you've played at multiple impact concerts. So to give to people that are participating in the impact concerts, and over time it would just be sort of, I mean, just like a badge of honor. And if you hold a certain amount in your wallet, people would be like, "Oh, they've been, they're OGs at the Impact concert." So we're going to try and work something out to be able to give those out. And again, it's not going to be about monetary value. It's just sort of like a reputational kind of keepsake, but that has a little bit of maybe sentimental value, and can be, possibly we might be able to use the holders of impact token could receive maybe a cool NFT here and there, or some cool information tied to a subject of impact concerts.
Yes.
So that's something that is on the horizon. And as I mentioned, tokens, I want to jump into our quick Web3 security.
Yes.
Safety on these digital virtual streets is super important. Anybody that has dealt in any internet at all probably knows there's plenty of scams and scammers out there, and it's no different in the blockchain and Web3 areas. In fact, it might be a little more prevalent, especially when the markets start doing good. In times like that recently we've had big movement in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we've got Farcaster getting more popular. We've got Coinbase bringing in the Base app. So you've got new people joining into sort of
Yeah.
the social sphere of blockchain. And so you just have to be super cautious. Of
Yeah.
course, number one rule, you don't click links on a post, on a cast, in a DM. Anything that sounds like super amazing is probably just trying to like get information out of you, or get you to click a link that will drain your wallet. You never share your seed phrase, which is like the key to all of your crypto in your wallet. You have to be just super cautious and careful. And if you ever have a question about something, you can always ask a friend. And if you're newer, you can go, you can ask a friend, or just ask on a platform, "Hey, I saw this. Is this real?" And people are generally going to let you know. And if you do see something that's maybe like an airdrop or a free NFT, you always want to go check the official platform's website, or Discord, or I mean Twitter. Even Twitter's can be kind of hacked or replicated to look very legitimate. I had
We recently had a hack on QR. I don't know if call it a hack, but we had an exploit on the QR. It was
QR
QR.
coin, yeah.
10 million tokens they were giving away, which was like maybe $60 airdrop, but it wasn't the case. Actually, it was an exploit that was able to take like $3 from you. Thankfully, because of how things are configured in that contract, they were only able to get $3 out of any wallet that interacted with it. Therefore, the Farcaster community was, or I think that QR, the project, I think his name is Jake, he was able to fund those who lost their funds. So hackers and scammers knows that right now there are a lot of local conference, and that there will be new upcoming local conferences that will bring more people to Web3. And then they start doing their rounds of creative hackathons of hackers, really
Yeah.
actual hackathons, yes.
Yeah, and it's not always a brute force hack. It can be an offer. Oh, we'd love to have you featured on our show, and we want to do an interview with you. And there's a Zoom link, and that Zoom link is not a real Zoom link. it will go and
Yeah.
they'll have you sign something. It will take over your whole computer. I know people that have had that invitation and not only lost crypto but lost access to their bank accounts and emails, because once you take over a whole computer system, you can get passwords, you can reset passwords for email and stuff like that once you have access to a system like that. So you have to be super cautious. It's never worth getting a free NFT or, whatever it is, $10 or $100 airdrop to lose everything you have. I see a hand up from Duodo.
Talking about ERL scams, here in Argentina, we have like a workshop called co-work, sorry, that's called Aleph. And everybody what is there, new people coming in, and one of our people from the community, Neutro, connect to the Wi-Fi there, and it wasn't that Wi-Fi, and that yeah, they drained the wallet and also sent some mail, so was awful. So not only
Don't click Wi-Fi either.
no, because can be also a scam.
Hack and
Yeah,
horror histories.
yeah, these little hack horror histories are great to like kind of imprint on people how
Yeah.
many attack vectors there are. So you never want to sign into a wallet on a public Wi-Fi at a cafe, at an airport. You just don't do that. So never get on a public Wi-Fi and sign into a wallet or send, money from your wallet to another place, because as you're signing in, people can be basically robbing your information, plugging in different weird things.
What about a 5G, 4G? If I use my cell phone connection, that's okay?
Yeah, if you're using your own cell phone connection, then unless somebody has put up a whole tower and is spoofing the whole cellular system, which I haven't heard of yet, you should be fairly safe. You just always want to take as much precautions as you can. And I got hacked. My first main hack was through a Discord help bot. So it was a community I'd been in for 4 or 5 years already. This was a little over a year ago now, or about a year ago. And I was having trouble connecting to like the game, and it had been periodic and it was happening again. So I mentioned it in the Discord, and it was like, oh well, make a help ticket. So I went to the like help bot, made a ticket, got a response, started a conversation. They were very good. They knew the lingo. They were super friendly, super helpful. Had me sign a few transactions, and then I just got this feeling like something's not right, and I ran to revoke.cash. I'm going to put that in the chat.
I
Revoke.cash.
can put it.
You want to have this open on your computer
Yes.
at all times on a tab in the background in case something fishy starts happening, and then you open that up and you can take away permissions. So that's a great tool. And then I'm going to
Yeah.
share another one called Pocket Universe. That's like a oh gosh, what's it called? You can install that as a little utility to help screen things. In fact, I think they even offer some free insurance if you click the wrong link and get scammed. I used to recommend Wallet Guard, but they were pretty much purchased, I believe, by Ethereum Foundation, and their tools are worked into MetaMask. So it's creating like a virtual transaction first and scanning for anything that seems off or odd, or anything that
Yeah.
shouldn't be in that signature line. Like, hey,
Yeah.
mixed in with weird letters, I'm giving all the permission for all my Ethereum or something, because that's a possible vector.
Yeah. Have you chat about wallet guard yet?
Yeah, but that's what I was just mentioning. And Wallet Guard is no
Perfect.
longer.
Ah,
Yeah, it was purchased, but it's basically built into
on MetaMask.
MetaMask now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, that's perfect.
So I don't want to go too heavy into this as we are rolling right along into our time slots, but just be really safe out there. Don't click any strange
Yeah.
links. Talk to a friend if you're hearing about some incredible airdrop. Always go to the authentic page or Discord of a project
And
if you
come
are doing something.
and come to the Impact concerts if you want to get onboarded to Web3 or you want to onboard your friends. It will be a safe way and they can network with other fellas that will get them into the real links. But therefore, don't click any links without the financial advice.
Biggest rule. Never any financial advice here. But would love to get, maybe if you guys have one more song in ya, and then we can go. I believe Dan is going to be joining us for a little presentation.
Hey, here we are again. I was sharing the streaming that they share in the chat. I'm just learning how to manage like the live chat, the stage to go with the phone. It's cool. It's cool. It's like my brain is working and it's working hard. And finally, I have to share it with the community and done. Well, for this last song, first of all, thank you for this security lesson because there were things that we already knew, but it's always good to remember again and talk about this one and again and again and again because always there are always like new ways to scam and we need to be alert and always take care of each other. So thank you for that. For this last song, we are going to share a song that is really special for us because it gives us many happy moments, I will say, and is one that we are working now on the vinyl record. We are producing the vinyl record of this song that is called Palomas y Cordajes, thanks to the Lil Nouns DAO community and also to our community in general, collectors community, that they are supporting the production. And after we finish with the production, we are going to release an NFT collection so anyone in any place in the world can buy it and we will send it. It's our first time doing this, so we are learning a lot about shipping, worldwide shipping, and how to manage payments securely too. So we are developing our web page to do that.
Show them the vinyl.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. I have it here.
That's so exciting.
Ah, thank you. It's like a little baby. We are creating a
Yes.
new little monster to the world. This is the packaging that we have. This is from the last edition because we made first last year a first edition of this record. But this new vinyl back here will have like powered by Lean now. So we are super proud because it will be a Web3 produced vinyl. And here we have like all the vinyls. It's limited edition. We have only 30 copies, but I will show you a few. It's like the magic bag. This one. Ah, ta-da!
Oh,
There are a lot
so
of
nice to have
things.
something physical to collect. Wonderful, beautiful work.
Yes.
And it's something very moving for us because as musicians we start in the stream platform world. We didn't get the chance to get to the cassette or CD when we release professional music. So see our music physical for us is a very big change because always was online, YouTube, etc. And now we have the chance to be physical.
You can
That's
touch it. You
something
can touch it.
incredible.
Amazing.
So we are going to share this song with you now that is super special and it's called Palomas y Cordajes. Tarde porteña, lluviosa y gris es cuando te vi, costanera sur, caminabas como por París. Cuando te vi, es esto el amor. Transmitía la hora oficial en Argentina. Mientras tenía la sensación de que mi corazón estaba apagado. Pero cuando te vi, marcaban las 4, mi amor. Ya cuando te vi pasar, un tango, un fuego me prendió. Un poema, no sé qué pasa. este sentir que me rendí ante ti. Palomas y cordajes. Hasta el observatorio caminaste como si estuvieras solo. Mis pasos tan livianos no interrumpieron tus pensamientos. Pero cuando te vi, no sé qué pasó. Pero quiero seguir sintiéndome así, como cuando te vi, cuando te vi, cuando te vi pasar. Un tango, un fuego me prendió, un poema, no sé qué pasó, pero quiero seguir sintiéndome así. Yeah. Woo, thank you.
Woo! So amazing. I love that tune. It's got such a great vibe and just
Thank
takes
you.
you
Un
to these different
poema.
places. Yeah. We have the crowd demanding the link to where they can find this vinyl release. So if you can share that, if it's out yet, the crowd wants it.
It's coming soon. We are, because something important is that we are developing each part of the vinyl, like the vinyl, the packaging by hand. So right now we are in the final stage to go to the printer, print the vinyls, make the packaging, and when we have everything ready, we're going to release the tokens so they can get the NFT. So once we have it, we're going to share here with the community.
But if you like
Amazing.
to stay tuned and know when we are going to release it, you can follow us on X or Farcaster. We are daily active in both of them as Duo Do Música. I will share it in the chat.
I'm one step ahead of you, and I
Oh,
just shared the
cool.
Farcaster, your guys' Farcaster. So we will have to wait
Thank you.
patiently for a little while, but incredible, and thank you guys so much for joining. It's always such a pleasure, and can't wait to see you next time. And stick around while you can. Dan is, I think, up next, so he is going to share some great information about fractal governance and maybe some of his journey into it. Dan, open up, hopefully we get your audio.
Yes. Can you hear me easy?
I see you and I hear you. That's incredible.
Okay.
It's not fine.
Sounds good. For some reason I hear a little echo in my voice. I don't know exactly why that is. Maybe because I'm live streaming too. Okay. Let me just make sure that I'm not playing the video at the same time, but maybe I'll just reduce my volume or something. I don't know. I think I'll just deal with it. It's not that annoying. Actually, it is kind of annoying. Actually, I feel like I'm crazy. I wonder what could be causing this. Yeah. Duo does it. Awesome. Thanks for the performance, Duo. And thanks, Easy, for hosting, as well as Jose and for Lens. Wonderful hearing the Web3 security tips and the music. And thanks so much for organizing and putting together this Fractal Impact concert for fractal democracy and fractal governance, as well as all you do in general in Web3. It's been a huge pleasure meeting you. GM's all.
Easy. I think it's your mic that's doing all of the echoing. Yeah, there we go.
Is it?
So yeah, if you could just, I think it's yours, hot mic. Can you hear yourself now, Dan?
Let me try talking when Easy's muted, and yeah, it is better now. Okay. Thanks all for helping us out with that, and that's good, and that saves me some troubleshooting. I was trying to speak while trying to just focus not on the voice repeating. So now it's much clearer and much easier. So thank you very much for that. And yeah, I was just saying huge thanks, Easy, as well as Zal. Zal connected me and Easy some months back. I believe you guys met the Zao Fractal, if I'm not mistaken, and then I had the pleasure to meet you at Eden Fractal and at at Zao Fractal and Optimism Fractal, and we've been having a lot of great times collaborating with Fractal Governance, and really appreciate all the work you've been doing for Fractal Governance, as well as I've really enjoyed watching your past Impact concerts and Easy's Corner and the Let's Talk Web3 podcast. And there's Jose too. I've been loving to hear Jose's music too. So I'm very pleased to be here and honored that you invited me to join to speak at the Fractal Impact concert, as well as have put this together in support of something that I care so deeply about, which is Fractal Governance and helping communities cooperate, as well as music too, music and Web3 security. So if you'd like, I can now give a presentation, a little bit of an introduction to myself, as well as Fractal Governance for those who aren't familiar. And if there's anything else you'd like me to share, then feel free, but otherwise I'm going to go and hit share screen, and hopefully it will all work well. And then feel free to jump. Great, thanks, Easy. Feel free to jump in at any point. I'll try to keep it pretty short, like under 10 minutes or so. But if you have any thoughts or comments, you want to jump in, or if I'm rambling on a bit too much, then feel free to jump in at any point.
I just want to say, I just want to give Dan a big shout out, because I don't even remember exactly how I got to Eden Fractal. It was either Jose or Azal that had been to maybe an Optimism Fractal and mentioned it to me. I mean, it's been now close to, I think, a couple years since I first got to my first one, and then I was sort of attending for a good bit, and then it's been off and on, but it's been such an amazing experience. And then also to be part of the ZAO and now helping lead rooms, it's been just incredible. And I wanted to shout out Dan, because yeah, you were really my intro into this Fractal Governance. So gonna give the stage back over to you.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, Easy. It's my pleasure to have helped intro you to Fractal Governance, and yeah, it's been an amazing time that we've been collaborating so far, and I think we're just near the start of it. I think that these Fractal Impact concerts, as well as all the other things that we're doing and building together, along with many other amazing community members, will help us bring Fractal Governance to the world, help many other communities enjoy it, help spread more music around the world, and more help create a more prosperous and secure and joyful society. So I'm excited to collaborate with you going forward on that, as well as everybody else here. All right, and I think that I'll go ahead and share my presentation now for a little bit of an introduction, because most people don't know about Fractal Governance. So if you don't know about Fractal Governance, I know Easy's done a great job of giving a little introduction here, but there's quite a bit that you might not be familiar with. So I'll provide a little overview here. First off, this is the tweet. I lead a team called Optimistics, which is focused on helping people experience the benefits of Fractal Governance. We build tools, open source software for Fractal Governance, and we host events where people play respect games, which is a core component of Fractal Governance. So we put out a tweet over here just helping to promote this event, this wonderful Impact concert. So encourage you to like and retweet and help spread the word about the Fractal Impact concert, as well as fractals in general and Impact concerts in general. And I'm going to give a little introduction to Fractal Governance here. So first I'm going to give a little bit of an overview of my personal journey, and then the philosophical foundations of Fractal Governance and how it turns into Fractal democracy, and then an overview of the community growth that's happened over the past several years since we've been building Fractal Governance in public, and also how you can get involved with helping to support the growth of Fractal democracy, and how you can use it to benefit your communities and your organizations. So my personal journey, I have a background in music, creative arts, and community building, and I've been working on Fractal Governance for the past 4 years, and working on Chain for longer than that, a few years longer. I founded a community called Eden Fractal, which is dedicated to implementing fractal decision-making processes throughout society. I founded that in 2022, and a community called Optimism Fractal in 2023, which is bringing Fractal Governance and implementing Fractal Governance on Ethereum on the Optimism Superchain. And I've been working to make governance engaging, fair, and accessible, fast, fair, and fun. You can learn more about me at dansingjoy.com. Here you can find an overview of some of the projects like Eden Fractal and Optimism Fractal I mentioned. I'll share more about these, and Optimistics and Eden Creators. Right now we're live streaming on the Eden Creators YouTube channel, where we publish videos each week of our Fractal events and what people are doing to contribute to fractals or different parts of society and open source software or culture and so forth. And I also host some town hall events where we talk about this fractal governance stuff a lot, as well as some other shows. So you can check out my music on Dance Party. Maybe I'll get to play a little bit later during the Fractal DJ or something like that. But it's been a real pleasure hearing everybody. And I saw the agenda too. There's a bunch of amazing musicians coming and other speakers. So very much looking forward to seeing what everybody's up to. But yeah, so fractal governance at a high level, it's a governance system that's very democratic. It's truly democratic. It scales through small nested groups. So similar to how in nature you have a tree and you have branches that go off into smaller branches and leaves that go into smaller branches and leaves that go into smaller leaves that go into smaller leaves. This allows human societies or human communities to branch out into smaller subgroups to enable local wisdom to inform global decisions. So rather than, say, having a big election where 50 million people are voting for one person and 50 million people are voting for another person and half the people wind up unhappy, you have small groups where everybody has these intimate discussions and you do it on a repeated basis. People get to know each other, and we do this with on-chain software and on-chain games. So everybody has a fun time and also builds up reputation over time, and then can use that reputation to make decisions, and it's all much more verifiable, much more enjoyable, and much more democratic than traditional governance systems. It maintains and it fosters human connections while allowing growth. I met so many amazing people through these fractal governance games and these events that I host and others host around different communities, and it prevents power concentration through peer evaluation. So traditional governance systems often get corrupted and wind up where people in power don't really represent the will of the people, but by using fractal governance, it enables truly democratic governance that enables people to accomplish what they want and represent the will of the community, the society. We have a lot of detailed articles on the Optimistics website, optimistics.io, about fractal governance and democracy. I invite everybody to check it out. I can share links in the chat. And Optimistics spelled with a Y, like mystical. And I won't go through the article right now, but if anybody's interested, you can learn quite a bit about it. You can learn about the history, and I'll also give you a preview of some of the key points right now, and also some areas where you can learn more. So a lot of this started in 2021 when a blockchain innovator called Dan Larimer wrote a book called The More Equal Animals, A Subtle Art of True Democracy. You can learn about that at moreequalanimals.com. That sparked a large community of myself and hundreds of other community members to embark on this mission to implement fractal decision-making processes. So that has a lot of great principles. And then his team created something called Fractally a year later, which you can see at fractally.com, which they released a white paper which shared how this could be used for sustainable public goods funding, and it introduced this component of peer evaluation through contribution recognition, and that inspired a lot of people as well, including myself. And from that, I've been working on something called the Respect Game, which is the foundation for democratic coordination. This is something that emerged throughout many meetings, many years and months of developing and testing these practical governance systems in practice in communities, and we realized that having games makes it more fun, and also the things that we were doing for Fractal Democracy, it really is a game. So the Respect Game is a social game. It's an on-chain social game. We usually play it on-chain, where participants evaluate contributions through consensus, and then based upon the evaluations, it creates verifiable on-chain reputation based upon peer recognition, and that on-chain reputation enables democratic decision-making without plutocracy, with meritocracy based on who's contributing the most, and it provides this flexible framework for community engagement and governance. And we've played this for the past few years now, hundreds of times across dozens of communities, and more communities are adopting and starting to play it. And our goal is to have this game and this fractal governance process spread throughout society, so that at all levels of society, from small communities of musicians to large national governments and corporations, will all benefit from Respect Games and fractal governance. The way that works on a basic level is, first off, there's a community that has some sort of goal or mission. So for example, at Optimism Fractal, we're building on Ethereum, and we're building on the Optimism Superchain. So we say, what do you do to contribute to the Optimism Superchain? That's a community of people who want to contribute to Ethereum and the Superchain. And so each community will pick its own goal. Maybe the Impact Concert at Zao Fractal has their own goal as well, if you want to play Respect Games here or another place. But basically, the way the Respect Game is played is that once you gather into a group, then participants will go into randomized groups of 3 to 6 people. We often play in Zoom, but it can also be played online. And then each person will present what they did to contribute towards the community's mission. They'll say if they are working on building software, they played music, or they made a book, or they did a podcast, or they invited friends, or whatever it may be. And then they'll work to collaboratively discuss each other's contributions and rank each other's contributions on over the past, usually it's played on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. They'll say who helped the most over the past week, who helped the second most over the past week, the third most, the fourth most, the fifth most, and so forth. And if the community, or if rather that breakout group, can reach consensus on those rankings of who helped the most and the second most and so forth, then everybody will receive respect. And respect is a soulbound token, which is a signifier, a way to remember and commemorate what people did to contribute to the community. And that respect comes along with governance power, and it can come along with capital allocation and so forth. People who get higher levels will get more respect. It goes across a Fibonacci-based token allocation. So yeah, basically when you keep contributing to the community, keep joining the events, you get more and more respect. And if you get ranked higher by your peers, then you'll get more respect. And then with that respect, you can get more governance power and have a bigger role in influencing the direction of the community. So that's a high-level overview. Again, we have articles about this at optimistics.io/respect game, where you can learn more, see implementations, see who can benefit from it, see what are the benefits of it. It's really great for building a strong culture, natural scaling, better governance. It enables people to cooperate with fractal governance and democracy without it being like this big thing about some governance process, because it makes it very simple for people to start playing, enjoy their time, and then over time people get better and better at making decisions together. So encourage you to check out the articles. We also have articles about the respect tokens too. These are currently ERC 115 tokens that are soulbound for people who are into the Web3 technology. Soulbound basically means it's non-transferable, so when you earn respect, it's your respect. It's not something that can be traded or sold, so that's a way to measure who's actually contributing to the community. And it also comes with beautiful artwork too, or unique artwork that can be set by each community creator, owner, or I shouldn't say owner of the creator, but the owner of the contract. And we can have it where the contract is decentralized with the software as well, based on who owns the respect. So you can learn more in the Respect Tokens article as well on the Optimistic site. And now I'm going to give a little overview of the community evolution and the growth of communities over time, because I mentioned previously that back in 2021 there was a book that was created about fractal democracy, and since then I've been participating, and this has been my full-time focus to bring fractal governance to the world. And this has been experimented with several different communities. You can see some here on the screen with the original Genesis Eden community, and then the Genesis Fractal, Eden Fractal, Optimism Fractal, and Zao Fractal. We'll hear a bit from Zao about the Zao Fractal soon. And Eden Fractal's kind of been at the core of this ecosystem since been working for the past 3.5 years almost now, and we've been working to support the Fractal ecosystem. So it's a community dedicated to optimizing collective decision making through collaborative research development, education, gamification, and community engagement. And we host these bi-weekly events that everyone's welcome to join. We're working to implement these fractal decision-making process at society, and we play the Respect game at each event so that people can play the Respect game. We also produce videos too, so we produced over 125 videos here, so everybody can join and be part of the videos and the events. Encourage you to check out edenfractal.com to learn more and get involved. We'd love to see you there. Our events are on Thursdays at 17 UTC, and you can watch all our videos if you want to see what it's like, and then check out the blog for more details about Eden Fractal and fractal governance. And yeah, we actually recently entered our second epoch, so we did a retrospective on our first 3 years in the blog. You can find out some of the history there of what we've been up to, and there's no need to read these things, of course. You can just join the events, and we'd be happy to see you there, and over time you can learn as much as you'd like to, but these are resources here that are here for you if you'd like to learn them. And yeah, these events are a great place to learn more about these fractal decision-making processes and collaborate with innovators building them, and learn how you can implement them in your communities, or for example, many musicians out there. One of the reasons actually why I got so into fractal governance was because as a creator, as a musician, I was working full-time as a creator and a musician for a while, back maybe 6 or 7, 8 years ago, and I just realized that on-chain, blockchain could help so much with coordinating and helping people earn an income and be able to coordinate large-scale efforts. But in order to do that, you need governance. So I suppose my roots of getting into fractal governance have really been involved with music, and so I'm excited to see how musicians will use and have been using this at places like the Zao Fractal to empower musicians and all sorts of creatives. And this is a great place for any kind of musician or any kind of developer or just somebody who's interested in better decision-making coordination to get involved in Eden Fractal. And we also have Optimism Fractal, which is a community dedicated to fostering collaboration, awarding public goods creators, and optimizing governance on the superchain. You can check out optimismfractal.com and scroll through the website to learn more about the Respect games we play here, and everyone's welcome to join this event as well. We record the videos and so forth, so yeah, encourage you to check out the sites. Feel free to reach out in the Discords and so forth, and and join the events too. There's a lot of great Fractal events here, and the best way to get involved is both to learn, check out the videos, and also just to come to the events and say hi. And we appreciate everyone being there, and we appreciate your interest. So these happen bi-weekly, alternating with Eden Fractal on Thursdays at 17 UTC, which is the same time here. The videos are there too. We have some amazing team members. I think Rosemary's in the audience right now. She makes this amazing artwork too, because we love to celebrate and make it like really special, all these events, to help promote what everybody's doing in the Fractal ecosystem. So encourage you to check it out. And this is the Optimistic site too. If you want to check out optimistic.io, you can learn more about the various things that we build and so forth, and the communities we host. And we have a lot of great blog articles too, where you can learn more as well. So I'm almost done with the presentation. I'm just going to share a couple more things. So for one thing, on the Optimistic site, you can see the Optimistic Toolkit, which is a suite of open source Fractal apps where you can play the Respect game and do Fractal governance with your community organization. You can also try these out by joining our events. Yeah, this is at optimistic.io/tools, and there's a bunch of amazing developers in the communities who have been working really hard to build these apps to make it easy for people to earn respect and play respect games. Respect Games is one, Fractogram, or DAO. You can learn here more and also explore a bunch more resources about these different applications and all the different kinds of concepts we've been coming up with too, because there's lots of different things that can work with Fractal governance. It's a very kind of ripe field for innovation, and there's a lot of things to document, but you can find here. OrDAO is a smart contract infrastructure that we use at a lot of these events that has a bunch of playlists, and we have an app that was recently released by a great developer. So check it out. I won't go too into detail here unless people are curious. Respect Games, all of these are developed by great developers. Respect Games is another app where you can easily start playing, and Fractogram is an interface that works with the OrDAO software. All of these you can learn more about and try out at our events, as well as you can get in contact with us if you're interested in implementing these as well, and you can learn more on these sites. And then after each Fractal event, or after some of the Fractal events, we host town hall events, which are open discussions. So after Eden Fractal events, we host Eden Town Hall events, which is a forum for Fractal governance innovation, where basically we talk about Fractal governance and people can share their thoughts. So these happen on Thursdays at 18 UTC, and occasionally we also host Optimism Town Hall events too. With both of these, we're experimenting with ways where you can vote with your respect tokens. We have a game called Agendas. It's like a community agenda game where the community can choose the agenda in a democratic way. Using the respect tokens. So that's just one of the ways that we're using the respect tokens, and these are great places to learn about Fractal governance, as well as about Ethereum and about the superchain Optimism, and of course Base and Ink and Unichain and so forth are all parts of these. So you can join these events, and you can watch all our videos on the Eden Creators YouTube channel. Encourage you to like and subscribe, and you can RSVP for all our events on the Optimistics event calendar, Mosh Optimistics. And yeah, that's it for me for my presentation. So thanks for the opportunity, Easy, and thanks everybody for listening. And I'm excited to collaborate with you all, and hope that got you excited about Fractal governance. And yeah, if there's anything else you want me to share, then feel free. But otherwise, I'll pass it back to you now, Easy.
Yeah, that was an incredible, great overview. I think anybody here could have gotten a really nice grasp on what Fractal governance can do. We have a question, comment from Rather Mercurial, and I thought I would, while I still have you on stage, I'll read it out quickly and maybe get a little of your opinion or thoughts on it. For allocation rounds in Fractal governance, how are corrections made for impact which emerges over time? I'm thinking of things like networking fundraising, governance iterations, large, slow burn deliverables like knowledge bases, etc. I'm in a couple orgs that seem to have similar organizing approach and use periodic allocations of reputation tokens. But I noticed that a lot of contributors who work on these long-term projects don't get recognized fully in the periodic rounds. This results in contributors with lots of soft power, trust and reputation, but little hard power. Does Fractal governance address it?
Yes, great question. I'm glad you asked. Thank you very much, Rather Mercurial. So it addresses it in multiple different ways. So I suppose the two ways that I can say that it really addresses it, one is due to the nature of the respect games. They're usually played on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis. It could be played monthly as well. But basically the idea with that is to get a large sample size of contribution measurement, we can say. And it's also measured by, and because the breakout rooms are randomized, it's also a randomized measurements as well. So this might sound like a kind of scientific way to look at it, but basically you, as somebody who's creating something that's valuable, but it might not be like immediately super valuable, maybe it takes 6 months or a year to become very valuable. Basically, each week you can join these events, you can join your community and share your progress, and you can remind people, hey, here's the thing that I'm building towards this long-term project, and here's the progress that I made during the past week. I was able to, code this specific part of the app, or I was able to write this part of the article, or something like that. And then over time, every time that you join the event, you'll get respect as long as you can reach consensus. And then the community will see and basically be able to use their subjective opinions, the other people in your rooms. Okay, well, how much progress was this, and how useful is this, and how useful is this in the broader scope, including what this is building towards. And so basically, while many traditional systems and things that DAOs use rely on metrics, and it's like a very rigid system, it's trying to use objective measures to figure out how valuable something is. The respect game allows the community to use their subjective consensus, subjectively determine, okay, how valuable is this? And then if they see, or if they think, the other people think that, hey, this is something that's very valuable, even though you only made a small amount of progress on it, then you might get a lot of respect. You might still get the top amount of respect in that room, or the second amount, or third most. And then even if you don't get the most respect, or second most, or whatever that week, then you're going to play the game each week if you're committed to the community and you want to keep earning respect and keep contributing. So you can keep joining every week, and then over time, you receive respect. Maybe if you play 50 games over the year for that community and you contribute to that project for over a year, you receive respect for each week that you make progress on that. So that's one way that you can do it. And then the other way that I'll just briefly mention too is, in addition to the actual earning of the respect, which happens at the respect game and goes according to the Fibonacci ratio, the other way that you can earn respect from like a long-term contribution is that once the respect game is played enough, you have a foundation for on-chain democracy with the respect tokens. And then with that on-chain democracy, people can make decisions in hindsight or forward-looking and determine, hey, this thing was really valuable. Maybe it didn't receive enough respect from the respect game, or maybe we think it deserves more respect, or whatever it may be. And then I pulled up over here on my screen share. This is an app called the OrDAO app that a community member named Tadas has built. And this, you can see, for example, this shows a recent respect game that was played, and basically people can vote with their respect tokens to execute proposals. And it has a really great, it's called OrDAO because it's short for Optimistic Respect-Based DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So this app can be used, and this on-chain software can be used to make it very easy for people to approve proposals, to distribute respect, or to do different things, to do anything on chain really, without getting stuck. A lot of DAOs get stuck with voter apathy or voter fatigue. So it makes it very easy to approve proposals, but with still a high level of security because it's optimistic. So I can share more details about that later. But basically, this, in addition to playing respect games and earning respect according to the Fibonacci ratio, as you can see here, if somebody really wanted to, like if they weren't able to make the respect games, or if people just look back and they said, wow, that was incredible, that person didn't receive enough respect, you could go here and you could make a proposal to mint respect to an account, and you could say, hey, give respect to John, I'll say, or I'll say rather, if I'm saying your name right, and then like here's why, because it's good. I'm just putting like real quick, and then you could put like mint, say like I don't know, like 300 respect or whatever it is, and then that would use that same system basically. You'd fill that out a little bit more, but this would use the respect that people earned from the respect games, and you would post that proposal, and then people could vote on that on chain, and then if it met the thresholds that are required, which is like 2/3 voting yes, but then there's also a veto period. There's a little bit of like a clever system, but basically if it meets those requirements, then that respect will be distributed. And so it's basically both that you can distribute respect each week and you can keep earning respect each week, and then also the community as a whole can use this kind of more global governance process to decide how to distribute respect. So those are the two main ways that I would say that the respect game and fractal governance helps to measure those kinds of contributions that are like kind of growing slowly over time. And I hope that answers your question well.
I think that was an excellent question. Multiple points hit on that, and so I would encourage rather to maybe join the upcoming Eden Fractals, jump into the ZOW, and experience it for yourself. I've noticed just over personal experience, people get pretty excited about builders making tools for whether it's an app for Respect Game or something else in the furthering of the mission of said projects. And so I've seen people that are actually building and coding stuff get good respect. I think it's very valuable, and it's valued by the community. And it's just so amazing to have the real connections when you break out into a fractal group. Everybody gets their voice heard every time. It's not some big 30 or 50 people in DAO meeting and only the popular kids are getting to get on the mic. Everybody has their chance to share, and everybody's heard, and then everybody comes to consensus on the level of respect each participant gets that week. So it's really an amazing system. And I think I'm gonna move us along. I'm gonna invite Mago del Sur up on stage, and
Parta y Lira.
Elira, welcome. I'm hearing something. And
Hello, guys.
hello, bienvenidos.
Thank you.
Hi.
We are
Hi.
we are we are glad to be here. Thank you, Sing and Jose, for the invite. And well, today we are going to share with you guys a few songs of the Lira new record. So hope you guys enjoy it. They are really nice songs, played with cuatro, a Venezuelan instrument. So, well, hope you guys enjoy it. Let me see if we can. Okay, we can start.
Amazing. We've got you on
Yeah.
video. So
Yeah.
excited to have you guys here with us. I'm excited to hear some tunes from the new album. This is great.
Yeah.
Debajo del mar, arriba del sol, adentro y afuera, a donde sea voy. Debajo del mar, arriba del sol, adentro y afuera, a donde sea voy. Cuéntame cuándo fue la primera vez que viste la luz aquí, cuando llegaste como una canción. Cuéntame cuándo fue que abriste tu corazón aquí, para comenzar a amar conmigo. Debajo del mar, arriba del sol, adentro y afuera, a donde sea voy. Debajo del mar, arriba del sol, adentro y afuera, a donde sea voy. Siente, esto es el fuego latido que nos nutre en perfección aquí. Vamos a bailar para celebrar la vida. Thank you.
Thank you, Lira. Beautiful music.
Beautiful. Yes, thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
And if you want to play another, since we have you and we're connected, I know it was a little bit tricky with everything, and you guys, I think we're on the move a bit today. So if you want to play another, we would love that.
Okay.
Otra, otra,
Sí.
otra, otra.
El cantar tiene sentido, el cantar tiene sentido, entendimiento y razón. El cantar tiene sentido, el cantar tiene sentido, entendimiento y razón. La buena pronunciación del instrumento al oído. La buena pronunciación del instrumento al oído. Sale el gusano de su prisión de seda y se convierte en linda mariposa. Sale el gusano de su prisión de seda y se convierte en linda mariposa. Suspira la brisa y suspirando lejos se abre el capullo de una blanca rosa. Suspira la brisa y suspirando lejos se abre el capullo de una blanca rosa. Préstale oído a las paredes, préstale oído a las paredes, que pareciera que te hablan. Préstale oído a las paredes, préstale oído a las paredes, que pareciera que te hablan. Y que te cuenten lo que saben, que te cuenten lo que saben, que se saben todo el cuento. Y que te cuenten lo que saben, que te cuenten lo que saben, que se sabe todo el cuento. La garza prisionera canta cual solía cantar en el espacio y sobre el dormido mar. La garza prisionera canta cual solía cantar en el espacio sobre el dormido mar. ese llanto de agonía. ¿Y por qué te empeñas, pues, Señor? Canto en prórroga. Al fin vuelvo a ti, mi hogar querido, y lejos de ti, cuánto fui desdichado. Al fin vuelvo a ti, mi hogar querido, y lejos de ti.
still has to be reviewed. Then when we now get on the calls, we now have the fractal sessions, and by consensus, yes, no, and yeah, you did it, you did not. By consensus, everybody decides, and you get the respect token as your bounty for contributing. I hope you guys understand everything I've said because I know I was just rambling.
That's all. I mean, super great and super inspiring. I think that it would be really valuable because as some of the points you were making that not everybody that is active in the DAO can afford the tokens or the NFT to vote. So if they're able to earn respect tokens over time because they're participating, that can show their contributions. And then, for example, maybe somebody joins the community, is new, purchases the NFTs or the tokens and has like a heavy vote, but they haven't been around and active, they can then look to, talk with other people and get some of their viewpoints on an upcoming vote. And if you see someone has a big amount of respect, okay, that's someone that has been very involved. So maybe I can take them, their idea on this upcoming vote pretty seriously, versus somebody that has, maybe just a tiny bit of respect, jumps in and participates sometimes. So it seems like it would be like a valuable tool to incorporate, and I'm really glad you guys are, working towards doing that and getting on calls with Zal. I think will be, I'm sure you guys will figure out like a nice balance of how to sort of incorporate the fractal governance and the respect tokens as well into the Noun Style Africa. That's very cool.
Yes, definitely. And I wish Swati was here because he's also supporting us in making sure we have these things in place. So while we're having all the conversations and deciding how best it will work for us before we put up an on-chain proposal to the community based on all the research conversations and knowing if this is going to be in alignment and find the alignments between what we're doing in South Africa and the fractal, and just finding that balance between it and see hear the community's take on it because it's a DAO, right? So we have to put up the proposal on chain and see how the community feels about it. But when we put up the proposal, we should be able to defend it, right? We should be able to have how to explain it best. So I'm really looking forward to to all of this. It's a new experience for me, so I'm excited.
Yeah, super exciting. And I'm sure that that'll be a great way for the people in Noun Style Africa to then expand their knowledge of, how different DAOs can work, the different tools, and maybe they start getting involved in other places like Eden or, the ZAL, where fractal governance is already, kind of a large part of creation. So they could come in and experience some of that there, meet new people. That always broadens horizons. So I think it's a win-win for everyone. And even if it doesn't maybe get implemented right away, just having the conversation and working out how exactly it does fit in will be, I think, of benefit to the whole community.
Yes, I think Jed has his hand up. Yeah.
I had Yeah, I shot him an invite to hop up because I know he's been rocking it with you down there. And yeah, I wanted to see if Jed, if you have any, thing you want to contribute from either your experience with fractal governance or what you guys are working on with Noun Style Africa, would love to hear from you as well.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I'm sorry I made it in here late. Um, but yeah, the experience with fractal governance has been an amazing one for me. It's been a really good experience getting to realize that how functional soul bound tokens could be in an ecosystem, because it doesn't really take people having to like spend money to contribute, right? But we often see that that's like the traditional system that we see floating around in the space, but it's like people actually being able to earn rewards and track their contributions in a community is good. I think this is a way to spearhead fair governance, so yeah, it's really dope. We're looking at I think generic already covered most of what how we're trying to utilize it for now style Africa, because we realize that a lot of people want to contribute in these systems but don't know how to, right? So if we're able to set up bounties and track their contribution for work while awarding them these tokens, which would eventually um, lead to more rewards, right? It's just a way of like tracking their contributions in the DAO. I think the fractal tool will really come in handy, and also just proliferate this fair system that we see with fractal basically. Um, yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. It's nice to be here. I'm sorry I made it in late, but yeah.
No problem. Great to have you here. And yeah, appreciate your input on this as well. And I think we are going to soon get a couple words from Zal. I know Generic had mentioned maybe having a little musical act for us too. I'm not sure if Generic you're prepared for that. If you are, would love to hear a song from you. And if not, I think we can make do.
Oh my god, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. My phone is low. I'm literally sitting on the floor and charging my phone on this call.
No problem. If by chance towards the end you want to jump back up, we can totally do that. Why don't Jose, do you want to play one song before we jump to Zal? Okay, we're gonna get one tune from Jose, and then we're gonna
Wide spectrum.
wide spectrum. Let me get back on wide spectrum, which brings the echoes, but is much better for guitar. Here we are, studio wide spectrum. Okay.
Tengo un código básico para tus hábitos tóxicos, para cambiarte el sonido, para moldearte el oído. Tengo un bálsamo ácido, dulce como la realidad, para limpiarte por dentro, para ir sacando lo feo. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria. Como hay que saber, a veces sientes todo un batallón, a veces la hormiga ruge al león, a veces Marte saca su color. Como hay que saber, no todo siempre se hace menester, y lo sagrado siempre ha de estar, así nosotros no podamos ver. Tengo un código básico para tus hábitos tóxicos, para cambiarte el sonido, para moldearte el oído. Tengo un bálsamo ácido, dulce como la realidad, para limpiarte por dentro, para ir sacando lo feo. Sueño que tengo la última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria. Como hay que saber, a veces sientes todo un batallón, a veces la hormiga ruge al león, a veces Marte saca su color. Como hay que saber, no todo siempre te hace menester, y lo sagrado siempre ha de estar, así nosotros no podamos ver. Sueño que tengo última palabra en esta historia. El infinito de aquel día quedó en mi memoria.
Woo!
I
There we
hope sound
go.
was coming through. We didn't sound check that before, so I hope the sound was just smooth and happening and wide spectrum ish.
Hope everybody enjoyed that little treat from Jose. I want to make an announcement, which is usually part of my intro, but I'm a little rusty. We haven't been doing these for a little while. If you have a link, don't share it in the chat. Send it to me, and I can share it so you don't get accidentally kicked by the bot, which is just trying to protect everyone. Token Smart is very serious about our Web3 safety, so we don't want some stranger kind of coming in and slipping in a link. But if you do have something related to fractal governance that you would like to get shared out there, you can send it to me. I can preview it and then share it. And let's throw it over to Zhao. I see we got Will T in the house. Pretty soon we are going to have a little roundtable discussion. And Zhao, I'm kicking it over to you. How's it going?
GM, good to see
ZM.
everyone. I'm gonna just let Easy me. Perfect. Okay, I'm doing good today. I see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd and a lot of new faces as well. So that's always exciting. I'm just gonna go quick and share about the ZOW and the ZOW Fractal and what we do. Um, the ZOW is an impact network focused on bringing the profit margin, the data, and the IP rights back to independent artists. We do that in a number of different ways, but we saw the fractal ecosystem as a phenomenal way to get our feet wet into building this next evolution of the creator ecosystem. I personally actually saw Optimism Fractal and I saw some real value in the concept of the fractal ecosystem, not only in the illiquid soulbound respect token, which I personally think is phenomenal for reputation, but also in the fractal governance part of scaling up. I've seen lots of discords. I joined in 2023 in the bear. So in the bear, there were a lot less people, and there were a lot of projects that kind of got abandoned in one way or another. Whether they lost attention, or actually they got too much attention, got too big too quick, and couldn't take in all of that energy and leverage that well. Most crypto charts in this space have that, like, you have your peak initially, and some people never get back up to that peak of the hype that they created at their start. So those are two big reasons why I saw fractal governance as a phenomenal way for us to get acquainted in the ZOW. We took the same thing that Optimism Fractal was doing and reinvented it in a way that would work for the ZOW. So the really cool thing about fractal governance is that it's a tool. It's not a one size fits all tool. It is a customization tool. So we use it a little bit differently than the Optimism Fractal team does and the Eden Fractal team does. But the beautiful thing is it's all under the same vision and ethos of trying to find a better way to communicate and organize and distribute out governance token essentially to your community. So out of all those things, I started to add to my fractal journey and value, and that all started with my Discord bot. The way the fractal tools had been built so far by the developers had been so that the consensus mechanism could be done in Telegram chats. This was great for the Optimism Fractal team, who was in Zoom rooms and would be able to easily transition into Telegram, as most of their users were crypto native. However, I found some challenges with that because we were having our meetings right in Discord, and having people move from Discord to Telegram to leverage the bot and the technology that the Fractal ecosystem had created was a bit of a friction point. Some people didn't have Telegram accounts. Some people had a couple of problems, this and that, with actually using the bot. So I decided in that I would create one within Discord natively so that we wouldn't even have to switch off of the app and we could leverage the exact same place and location to do the consensus process. So over the last few months, I created the Zao Discord bot that we've now tested and is working for the last month plus. And one of the big additional things that this gave our team in terms of hosts was that previously, to use the Telegram, the host needed to be on a computer and also have a pre-installed software. So we really had to be prepared if we were going to have 18, 24 people to have 3 or 4 different hosts for the 4 different meetings. So I saw that as a potential challenge and realized that A, not only are we going to have the time to pre-prepare everyone before a meeting, but then B, not everyone's ever going to be always on desktop. So I used those 2 points, those 2 challenges, and I used the Discord bot as a solve for that, because right now in the Zao Discord, anyone can go in to a text channel and type in -Zao Fractal and be able to host a Zao Fractal respect game. And recently, we've also iterated on the respect.
Any project that wants to come to some sort of consensus, that's making decisions, or even finding out, what questions do we want to put to the community, can use these tools to be able to get to that, idea, to be able to share each on an individual level. The fact that it's randomized each week or bi-weekly as you do these meetings, you get in with different people and different, each time you're with a few other people, so it's just super effective. And I became a huge fan of fractal governance through both the Zao and the Eden Fractal, and we have have Will T with us as well. And Dan, I think, will be jumping up on stage. There we go. So, right before we maybe kick off this kind of wider, or maybe Will, you can give a little bit of your experience in an intro, and then we can just jump into the conversation. Anybody in the audience, if you have a question or you want to jump up and just participate, this is going to be kind of our open roundtable. And
Yes.
throwing it to Will for a little bit of an intro from the one and only Mr. Will T.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you so much for that warm intro. Will T here. If you don't know me, I'm the founder of KF Media and the host of Kingfisher's Corner, which I'm calling in from the studio right now. This is our brand, our social audio brand. And yeah, I'm a big fan of fractal governance from from the approach of being a founder and a community leader, right? First and foremost, big fan of it. Coming off the heels of Gitcoin Grants 19, I was trying to figure out how to break into the optimism ecosystem because it's such a large ecosystem, right? There's a lot of participants, there's a lot of different layers to their governance structure. And so I was exploring around and stuff, and I gravitated towards Optimism Fractal and Eden Fractal and what the optimistics had built. And through my participation, I believe it's going on 2 years now in that community. I'm not there every time they meet, but I'm there as often as I'm able to meet. It's just been a very enhanced and robust experience to build reputation through the respect game in that community. So, yeah, thanks so much for the intro, Easy. And we can get into a roundtable discussion. I do also want to, if we have time, kind of host a campfire discussion, if you will, virtual campfire discussion about people who have benefited from the respect game and from fractal governance and what their perspective is on it. But yeah, let's get into this one first.
Easy, your mic is muted if you're talking.
I think I muted when I was
Classic.
already open. Classic Discord move. I just wanted to again invite anybody up that wants to join with a question or a comment. I know Rather Mercurial had some great questions
Oh
earlier
yeah.
and is looking to maybe involve some fractal governance in the super benefits which he works with. So yeah, stage is open. Rosemary, Civil, Elbow, Trizza, anybody, just raise a hand and I'll bring you up. But yeah, let's jump into it. What is the thoughts on our kind of overview today on fractal governance and where it could go in the future? I mean, I think that the more groups that start using this, the wider it's going to grow because it is so effective. So I would love to see, and we don't have Eric with us today, but he does some pretty amazing stuff just on the ground with, I believe, some nonprofit groups that aren't like Web3. It's not like blockchain groups. They're just, organizations that can use these tools also to be able to come to consensus better and to kind of get through problem solving. So, shout out to Eric. He might not have been able to join us today, but he's a regular at the Eden Fractals and helped us with some of the discussion on planning up this impact concert.
I guess that's an open invitation for anybody to chime in who's on the panel right now. So let me start here. When we're evaluating the reputation layer inside of Web3, it is one of the most vital and crucial layers that we have, right? When we look at the social construct of what operates outside of Web3, a lot of evaluations are based on credibility, are based on reputation, are based on certifications, are based on what have you done, right? And so, from that perspective, I can speak that when we look at, you know, communities and governance mechanisms that are based on work that's being produced to further advance the community or the DAO or whatever the entity is, um, that is one of the purest reward systems out there, right? And I love it. I love it because the way we educate people about getting into Web3 is we teach them and we lead with the first conversation being the value of their participation. And, fractal governments fully embraces that and it rewards people based on the work they're producing to help the community grow and mature and move forward based on their North Star. And yeah, I absolutely love the construct of meritocracy.
Yeah, I think anything from, a school board to a, community garden group, like anybody and everybody that has more than a few people getting together could benefit from fractal governance. And then it's also, I think, a great way to onboard people into blockchain and web3, because if you're able to introduce this style of governance, if they have, Zoom meetings or a Discord or a Telegram where they get together, then you can sort of easily bring them over from fractal governance into, hey, look, if you want to actually use the blockchain for this respect token, then you're sort of bringing them in a way that is, very useful to them. Whereas there might still be quite a bit of stigma out there around, blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies from the past, 5 6 years, where a lot of the noise in media would have been, oh, this is for like scams or like, drug dealers or whatever, which is, pretty far from the truth. Of course, you do have scammers and you have kind of criminal activity anywhere there is possible finance, but I would say it's a lot higher in the cash and credit card ecosystems than in blockchain so far. So yeah, I think it's a great onboarding tool as well.
Yeah, I think to add to that is part the fact that beyond the cryptocurrencies, right? There's a new layer to how blockchain can be utilized. Here, where I'm from, it's not so easy to onboard people into crypto. The moment they just hear crypto, they don't want to be like they don't want to be a part of it. They don't even want to hear about it. Except of course you're talking about the money. Anything else, they don't want to know. But getting to find out that it is actually a technology on its own, and there's so many things you can do with blockchain as a whole, with things like the illiquid soulbound tokens, for example. That's another use case. That's another amazing use case. It makes it even more easier telling people about blockchain, about this new economy that we found ourselves, this new thing that is coming up right now, and how they can be able to use it from their day-to-day life beyond just talking or thinking about, oh, this cryptocurrency is volatile, I'm going to lose money and all of that.
Yeah, this it could be the most wholesome way to onboard people into blockchain there is, because yeah, when you're dealing with a soul-bound respect token, you're not, out there gambling with funds. You're literally like earning a level of contribution and a level of respect, and you're basically showing people, in a way, using blockchain that is, immutable. You can't go change it. There are great ways, like Dan had talked about earlier, where you could put up, for the community to come to a consensus on, giving some respect tokens to a person that maybe wasn't able to attend some meetings but had been working hard on a tool or something, towards onboarding people into fractal governance. So I think this could be, and I would love to see this, being used, in going from, community governance into larger forms of governance, because it really is, I think, about the only way where everybody can get their say in and everybody can participate and then, build their level of respect, versus, a lot of the types of organizations are very top down. So you've got a few people making all the decisions, a few people maybe under them that get hurt, and then everybody else that, is left to maybe make a comment here and there, that's sort of just, yelling into the wind. So I see a really strong future for fractal governance, and, the floor is definitely open for everybody up here or anybody to join from the crowd. And I do see we have Rather Mercurial with us up here. If you have any, follow-ups to your questions you had earlier, or questions about maybe some of the implementation. Oh,
Yeah.
looks like we lost Zal, but I bet he'll be back.
Also, rather mention that maybe it can be implemented into super benefit. I wonder if you have any visualization of how that looks like.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of putting that together in my head. Um, we already have like an ERC20 reputation token that we use. It's not, it is transferable. Doesn't have any liquidity, and we find that that's totally fine. We don't have anybody trying to accumulate them or anything like that, but it does allow people to onboard, people they know into the DAO. So if I'm doing onboarding, or if I know someone who I want to work with at Super Benefit, I can just send them tokens, and then I just ask my team later, hey, I spent 5,000 tokens onboarding people this season. Can you send them back from the treasury? No big deal. Um, but yeah, I mean, we already have kind of we call our own organizing principle fractal organizing. We have that's based in networks of small teams that coordinate together. So yeah, it seems pretty well aligned. Although since we're not starting with a system like this one, an allocation system like this one, we would need it to be flexible enough to fit into what we're already doing. So yeah, probably something that we'd want to watch and like kind of learn a little bit more and see what cool implementation might be at some point. But I'm wondering, just in general, outside of our specific use case, how would an organization who wants to start using this, how would they get started? Where would they go to start looking? What is the uh, how is the implementation resourced? What are the costs, and what's the kind of expected lift to implement something like this?
I think this might be a great one for Dan, but I just want to say that's really cool that you guys already are using a fractalized system and that you have your ERC20, that is like a cool way to be able to onboard people. Adding a soulbound respect token might just be another sort of level that you could add into the mix. But yeah, if Dan, if you're available and you maybe want to talk about sort of kind of the startup process, I think that would be great. if
Yep.
just if you have any links to the documentation, don't drop them here. Send them in our Fractal Impact Concert organizing chat, and then I can share them here so that Rather can have access to that. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're really slow to implement, so I won't ask you for any of your time while you're working on that stuff. But yeah, that's awesome to know. Thank you for the rundown.
And it might be Zal. Zal, if you're available, maybe just a little bit on how you know, sort of got started with implementing it in the Zal Discord and stuff might be, you know, could be of service for Rather to hear.
Yeah, 100%. So, I shot a message in the chat as well, but Dan's super right. I didn't actually use any of the pre-built software initially. I just made a token on Third Web and made it non-transferable and started sending it out manually. So, all of my on-chain stuff is not happening on-chain in the form of a traditional DAO. It's all being done manually by me, just sending it out based on a off-chain notebook of data that I'm just kind of keeping. And now with the slow upgrades to stuff like the Discord bot, we're going to slowly start to take some of that centralization away from me and make it so that if I am not there, it's still possible to continue to do these things. We felt like it would be more effective for our music and art community to go more along this line than traditional DAOs in the past, where you have a lot of people focused on governance and how decentralized the actual entity is, where we were very lucky to not have the core need towards that and the core need towards like additional distribution for creators. So I think it also depends on like where you're at. But the nice thing is like you can just show up to the Eden Fractals every other week and just get more acquainted, ask questions, see what it's like. That's really what I did. I joined Optimism Fractal about 8 months before we did our Fractal, and I joined Eden Fractal a couple months before that as well. So just by being around and a part of the ecosystem, I saw how it would apply to me kind of week after week. Initially, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna copy this, and then I was like, okay, I can't just copy this because we don't have a blockchain to support. So how are we gonna say supporting the ZAO? And then I realized that there was potential for any artist to come in and share what they're working on, and then that's what really drew me to the value and the power. So yeah, not a lot of software on my side, just created a normal ERC20 token and made sure it was non-transferable, and then started sending it out to everyone.
Pretty cool that it's just like it's that easy, to start. And then once you get going, like Zal was saying, we've got the bot now that each breakout room has a easy way to vote. And then of course he's still taking those metrics and sending out the tokens, but eventually I'm sure there'll be a bot that can do that as well. So slowly moving it to where, yeah, if Zal goes to, I don't know, around the world on a sailboat or something, we'd still be able to keep the Zao fractals going and have everything, in place for that. So yeah, I think it's like both Dan and Zal mentioned. I think the best way to sort of start or to like get more ideas on how you might implement is just joining the Zao fractals, Optimism, and Eden fractals, and then just kind of hanging out, getting to meet some of the amazing people there. I mean, I remember one of the things that blew me away in one of the Eden fractals, maybe like it's probably 8 or 9 months ago, maybe longer. There was a member that was talking about creating this dialectic AI. And like, there's just, it blew my mind. There's just so many cool people that come in, some more frequently, some here and there, but that are just creating amazing things. And it's something where you don't necessarily have to be there every week or every with Eden Fractal bi-weekly, but it's just a great place to come and meet interesting, creative, smart people, and then to kind of get like a feel of how the fractal government flows. Man, a lot of great information, a lot of great people sharing experience. It feels like we might be sort of winding down. I think this is just the first of many fractal impact concerts where we can do onboarding, we can share progress. It's such a pleasure to have this amazing group of people together today. So unless anybody has something, big they want to share, I might throw it to Jose.
I'd say, do
Looks
you
like
want to
generic.
you want to just make sure you take a screenshot of the folks that are in here for when we do, if we do, send out some impact respect. We know who
Yep.
to reach out to.
And this has gone out to the Token Smart YouTube so people can catch it later if they missed it, and we'll have like the recording. But I see Generic is also here with us with an open mic.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask Dan, based on like what Now DAO Africa currently is doing, and looking at what implementation will most likely feel like or look like within the DAO, if he has like any take on that or any ideas to share while we figure out the best way to implement the fractal into what we're doing too. Yeah, I'll definitely do a follow up. I'll definitely send a message on that. I think for the community, the what me I'm what I'm in line of what I'm thinking is to implement what Zol currently has with the bot, and looking forward to updates on that. I think I was mentioning. I don't know if I mentioned to you Zol, but I was thinking if there's a, for future like updates to make it easier for other communities coming in to be able to just plug in your bots, and then the bots would have all of those built-in features with it, where sometimes if you want to join some Discord, you're able to connect your wallet to the Discord, so the bot is able to detect each person's wallet, and then after the fractal games are being played, based on like the whatever I don't know what it's called, but yeah, whatever instructions the bot is given after each respect game is played, it's able to automatically distribute those tokens to those wallets. And that's just in line of what I'm thinking. If that's, since if that's something you're also looking forward to or looking at, building as time goes on, then I feel like that's going to be the best option for us to implement, because then it will not be so much overhead and we'll not need one person to manually be doing that, because we're really big on decentralization. And while personally, when I onboard people, decentralization is one of the things that I make sure to tell them about, because that's what I'm interested in. So I try as much as possible to take out every form of centralization within the DAO as much as we can for now, so that the structure is better and it will function independent of anyone at any time also. But thank you so much. I'm definitely going to reach out as we continue to plan this out and see the best use case for us.
Love to see and hear this progress. Awesome. Yeah, sounds like some calls are going to be coming online soon with Generic and Dan and maybe Zal in the mix there. It sounds like both Zal is working on tools for Discord. Dan and some other team members are working on an app. And maybe in the meantime, before actually getting to the point where you're distributing tokens, where you have all the tools, maybe just playing around with some meetings and breaking up into small groups and then coming back to the main group could just be sort of a way to get people a little bit accustomed to the format of the fractal and the breakout rooms. But yeah, sounds like before too long, Noun Style Africa can be like fully on chain, decentralized, using the tools that are being developed right now to be able to go fully into it. This is exciting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you again for having me. And actually have to go now. I've been here for long, longer than I wanted to or I expected to. But it was exciting to, learn all of this. And I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you, Dan, and Zol. Of course, Zol, I'm definitely going to be reaching out to you for sure. But I'm just going to go now. We're having our working hour call. So let me just go join in and see how far I've gone.
Have a great
Thank you,
rest of
guys.
the day. Thank you for joining. And I think we will have Jose play us a song and we'll wind it down for today. Thanks everybody for coming. Much love.
Yes.
I don't either. Is it? Are you on?
Oh, let
Why
me.
Spectrum?
Yes.
Are you
What?
on Voice Slice?
Bless you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta change back. So we've been changing between so we don't give echo. Okay, studio
This is
mode. Here we go.
it's new for us to
Now.
be hosting days.
Okay, yeah, and we're in the same place. We're always coming on devices from across the world. Take it away.
Keep away from FOMO and hold the vibe. A veces me asiento tanto en los momentos que cuando se acaban me causan dolor. Y ese es mi karma de tanto soñar. Que el tiempo todo lo cambia. Es transformación. Que el tiempo es una distancia que cambia la percepción. Tu frío quítamelo, no me entres nada. La eterna madrugada nos mira en un rincón. Bailaba sin distracción la canción de la muerte, nuestro código inherente. de risa con todos tus juegos mentales. El argumento más denso ahora es la brisa de tus valores tan tiernos y tan naturales. Canto y conecto los puntos a tiempo con rimas. Y tú no sabes de dónde van mis disparates. Que manifiesto seguido en los medios días. Que dan color de mi esencia a tus realidades. Y a veces despierto en plena madrugada, como pidiendo a gritos un color, una tonalidad más clara, que luces también color, y notas musicales o signos zodiacales. El arte es un motor. Tu frío quítamelo, no me entres nada. La eterna madrugada nos mira en un rincón. Bailaba sin distracción la canción de la muerte. Nuestro código inherente también se hizo canción. Tanto talento que tienen tus ojos tardíos. Muero de risa con todos tus juegos mentales. El argumento más denso ahora es la brisa de tus valores tan tiernos y tan siderales. Canto y conecto los puntos a tiempo con rimas. Y tú no sabes de dónde van mis disparates. Que manifiesto seguido en los medios días. Que dan color de mi esencia a tus realidades.
Woo! So, such a pleasure to be here
Love
with you
it.
all today.
Love it. Love it. Love it. You guys are always so generous with your time. Thank you for hosting and being the
It is
MC.
always a pleasure. So
Enjoying the
glad you were
space.
here, Will T, Dan, Zal, you guys, all rock stars. Thanks to everybody that came
Yeah.
and participated and hung out. We've snapshotted ya. Impact Respect token coming to a wallet near you soon. Woo!
Yeah, this was a beautiful experience to do an impact concert instead of for public goods and quadratic funding rounds for onboarding in the intersection of coordination and music. And thank you, all of you, for your time and your talents. This is like the extended community that is interested into these spaces. Now we know how a fractal concert looks like, an impact fractal concert looks like. And from here, what we can do is adding more layers to the cake because more people will come and we need more slices. So keep away from FOMO and hold the vibe. See you on the streets of the metaverse. It was an amazing space. You know how it looks, so you can bring your friends and family now for the upcoming one. So yeah,
Stay safe out there. Peace, love, and whipsy, and hold the vibes.
hold the vibe. Yes, adiwa.
Woo!